The smell of something cooking on a hot summer evening can transport you back 30 years in a single breath. Summer dinners from our childhood weren't just meals. They were family traditions wrapped in the warm glow of long evenings and the sound of sprinklers running next door. 25 forgotten summer dinners you ate in your childhood brings back those simple, delicious memories that shaped our love for good food and togetherness. Beanie Weenies. The can would pop open with that familiar sound, and Mom would dump the whole thing into a saucepan. Pork and beans with little hot dog pieces already mixed in. It was convenience cooking before convenience cooking was cool. She'd heat it up on the stove, stirring occasionally until it was bubbling hot. The sweet bean sauce would coat those little hot dog rounds, creating a perfect balance of flavors. You'd eat it with a spoon, making sure to get beans and hot dogs in every bite. It was simple, filling, and somehow always hit the spot on those busy summer nights when nobody wanted to spend much time cooking. Cold fried chicken. Nothing beat the luxury of leftover fried chicken served cold on a sweltering summer day when turning on the oven was unthinkable. That crispy coating stayed perfectly crunchy while the meat inside remained juicy and flavorful, making it ideal picnic food. Families would fry up big batches on cooler evenings, knowing it would taste even better the next day, straight from the refrigerator. Kids loved peeling off pieces of that golden seasoned skin, while adults appreciated not heating up the kitchen. Packed in wax paper for family road trips or spread out on checkered tablecloths at park picnics, cold fried chicken was summer convenience at its finest. The drumsticks disappeared first, leaving the patient ones to enjoy the coveted thighs and breasts. 7-layer salad. This potluck queen ruled every church supper and family reunion with its rainbow of ingredients stacked high in a glass bowl. Lettuce, peas, bacon, cheese, and hard-boiled eggs created a visual feast that impressed every guest. The mayonnaise dressing sealed it all together, keeping everything fresh until serving time. Each layer told a story. Crisp iceberg lettuce, sweet frozen peas, smoky crumbled bacon, and sharp cheddar cheese. Kids loved digging down to discover each colorful layer, while adults appreciated how it could feed a crowd without much fuss. The key was letting it sit overnight, so all those flavors could meld together perfectly. Every bite delivered something different, making it impossible to get bored. Vienna sausages and crackers. The little can would make that distinctive pop when Mom opened it, and those pale pink sausages would slide out in their salty juice. She'd heat them up in a small pan until they were warm and slightly browned. You'd eat them with saltine crackers, making little sandwiches with each bite. The sausages were soft and salty, and they paired perfectly with the crispy, neutral crackers. It was portable food that required no real cooking, perfect for those nights when everyone was tired and hungry. Simple, satisfying, and somehow always exactly what you wanted when regular dinners seemed too complicated to manage. Shish kebab, the ultimate backyard showstopper that turned every dad into a grill master. Those colorful skewers loaded with tender beef, sweet bell peppers, and onions created the perfect bite every single time. Kids would fight over who got the end pieces, while parents debated the secret to perfect marinade. The smell of meat and vegetables sizzling over hot coals meant summer had officially arrived. Threading those ingredients onto metal skewers felt like art class, but the payoff was pure magic. Every family had their own special touches. Some added mushrooms, others swore by cherry tomatoes. The anticipation while they cooked was almost unbearable, especially when that first kebab came off the grill perfectly charred and juicy. London broil. This budget-friendly cut of beef became a weekend warrior when summer grilling season hit. Marinated overnight in Italian dressing or homemade concoctions, it transformed from tough to tender with just the right amount of char. Sliced thin against the grain, it stretched to feed the whole family without breaking the bank. The key was high heat and quick cooking. Anything longer turned it into shoe leather. Smart moms knew to start marinating Friday night for Saturday's dinner. Served alongside grilled corn and potato salad, London broil was the star of countless summer gatherings. The leftovers made incredible sandwiches the next day, cold and sliced paper thin with just a touch of horseradish sauce. Taco salad. Long before Chipotle existed, this Tex-Mex creation satisfied our craving for south-of-the-border flavors right at home. Ground beef seasoned with packet spice, served over crisp lettuce with all the fixings, created a fiesta in a bowl. The edible tortilla bowl made it feel like restaurant dining in your own kitchen. Everyone could customize their own creation. Extra cheese for some, hold the tomatoes for others. The combination of warm seasoned meat over cold, crisp vegetables was pure genius. Store-bought tortilla bowls saved time, but the adventurous cooks made their own by baking flour tortillas in oven-safe bowls. Topped with sour cream, salsa, and crushed tortilla chips. Every bite delivered maximum flavor and crunch. Chicken fajitas. These sizzling Tex-Mex sensations brought restaurant excitement to backyard grills across America in the late 70s. Marinated chicken strips grilled with colorful bell peppers and onions created a feast for all the senses. The smell of cumin, chili powder, and lime juice wafting from the grill made neighbors peek over fences with curiosity. Kids loved building their own soft tacos with warm flour tortillas, letting everyone customize their perfect bite. The interactive nature made dinner feel like a fun family activity rather than just another meal. Served with fresh guacamole, sour cream, and salsa, fajitas turned ordinary chicken into something exotic and special. The leftovers made incredible quesadillas the next day, proving their versatility beyond the initial dinner. Green Goddess chicken salad. This sophisticated salad elevated simple chicken into something worthy of a fancy luncheon, perfect for those elegant summer gatherings. The herby, creamy dressing made with mayonnaise, anchovies, herbs, and lemon created complex flavors that seemed mysterious and worldly. Served over crisp lettuce with sliced avocados and tomatoes, it felt like California cuisine before anyone knew what that meant. The pale green color looked as refreshing as it tasted, making hot summer days more bearable. This was the kind of dish that made hostesses feel accomplished and guests feel pampered. Some families served it as a main dish salad. Others used it to fill croissants or pita pockets. Either way, it brought a touch of restaurant elegance to home dining. Pasta primavera. This colorful Italian-American creation celebrated summer's vegetable bounty in a way that made kids actually excited about eating their vegetables. Fresh zucchini, bell peppers, broccoli, and cherry tomatoes tossed with pasta and light cream sauce created a rainbow on every plate. The dish felt sophisticated and continental, making families feel worldly and cultured while enjoying dinner. The key was keeping the vegetables crisp tender, so they maintained their bright colors and fresh flavors. Some families made it with just olive oil and herbs. Others preferred the creamy version that coated everything in silky richness. Either way, it was a celebration of summer's abundance that made vegetables the star of the show. Served with crusty Italian bread and a simple salad, it transported everyone to a sidewalk cafe in Rome. Grilled teriyaki chicken and pineapple skewers. These Hawaiian-inspired beauties brought tropical vibes to suburban backyards across America. Sweet pineapple chunks caramelized alongside tender chicken, creating the perfect balance of savory and sweet. The homemade teriyaki glaze, sticky and glossy, coated every piece with incredible flavor. Threading chicken and pineapple required patience, but the results were restaurant quality, right from your own grill. Kids loved the sweet pineapple surprise between bites of perfectly seasoned chicken. The glaze would drip and sizzle on the hot grates, filling the air with mouth-watering aromas. Some families added bell peppers or onions, but purists kept it simple with just chicken and pineapple. Served over rice with a side of grilled vegetables, these skewers transported everyone to a tropical paradise. Onion soup. Not your typical summer fare, but this French classic found its way onto many American tables during those cooler July evenings. Made from scratch with patience and love, caramelizing those onions took time, but filled the kitchen with the most incredible aroma. The rich golden broth, topped with crusty bread and melted Gruyere cheese, created pure comfort in a bowl. Kids would fish around for the longest cheese pulls, while parents savored every spoonful. Making it from scratch meant starting early, slowly cooking those onions until they turned deep amber. The whole house would smell like a French bistro, making everyone feel sophisticated and worldly. Even picky eaters couldn't resist that bubbling, cheesy goodness. New England-style clam bake. This coastal tradition brought the beach to your backyard, complete with lobster, clams, corn, and potatoes all steamed together. The ritual of laying out newspaper, cracking shells, and getting gloriously messy was half the fun. Drawn butter flowed like liquid gold while everyone compared techniques for extracting every morsel of sweet lobster meat. Even landlocked families embraced this maritime feast, ordering seafood specially for the occasion. The combination of briny clams, sweet lobster, and perfectly steamed vegetables created a symphony of flavors. Kids learned to crack shells and developed a taste for the ocean's bounty. The cleanup was monumental, but the memories were priceless. Nothing said special occasion quite like a full clam bake spread across the picnic table. Tuna macaroni salad. This pantry staple stretched canned tuna into a satisfying meal that could feed the whole family on a budget. Tender elbow macaroni, mixed with flaky tuna, crisp celery, and creamy mayonnaise created comfort in a bowl. Perfect for hot days when nobody wanted to cook, it came together quickly and tasted even better the next day. Every family had their own secret additions. Some added hard-boiled eggs, others swore by sweet pickle relish. The key was cooking the pasta just right. Too soft, and it became mush. Too firm, and it hurt your teeth. Served with saltine crackers or fresh bread, this simple salad satisfied hunger and brought everyone together. Leftovers made perfect school lunch sandwiches, pressed between two slices of white bread. Stuffed tomato suppers. Large, ripe tomatoes became edible bowls for this creative summer meal that made vegetables the star of the show. Hollowed out and filled with tuna salad, chicken salad, or egg salad, they turned simple ingredients into something special. The contrast of cool, creamy filling against the fresh, juicy tomato was pure summer perfection. This dish made kids feel grown up and sophisticated while secretly getting them to eat more vegetables. Choosing the perfect tomatoes was crucial. They needed to be large enough to hollow out, but firm enough to hold their shape. Some families got creative with the fillings, adding everything from cottage cheese to leftover rice, garnished with fresh herbs from the garden and served on pretty plates. Stuffed tomatoes elevated everyday ingredients into elegant dining. Zucchini boats. When the garden produced more zucchini than any family could possibly eat, creative cooks turned them into edible vessels. Hollowed out and stuffed with everything from ground beef to cheese and breadcrumbs, they solved the summer squash surplus problem deliciously. Kids who normally refused vegetables couldn't resist these fun boat-shaped creations filled with familiar flavors. The key was scooping out just enough flesh to create a cavity without making the walls too thin. Popular fillings included Italian sausage with marinara, ground turkey turkey with herbs, or simply cheese and breadcrumbs for the vegetarians. Baked until the zucchini was tender and the filling was golden, they made healthy eating feel like a game. Even the pickiest eaters would try just one bite of these cleverly disguised vegetables. Antipasto salad platter. This Italian-inspired spread turned dinner into a feast for the eyes with its colorful array of meats, cheeses, and vegetables. Salami, pepperoni, mozzarella, olives, and peppers created a restaurant-quality presentation right at home. The beauty was in the arrangement. Everything looked so elegant and abundant, spread across a large platter. Families could graze at their own pace, trying different combinations with each bite. The variety meant everyone found something they loved, from the olive enthusiasts to the cheese lovers. Crusty Italian bread was essential for building the perfect bite with multiple components. The leftovers, if there were any, made incredible sandwiches the next day. This meal felt like a special occasion even on an ordinary Tuesday night. Gazpacho. This cold Spanish soup became the ultimate refreshing dinner on sweltering summer evenings when hot food was the last thing anyone wanted. Fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, and onions blended together created liquid garden goodness in a bowl. The bright, tangy flavors woke up tired taste buds while providing serious cooling relief from the heat. Making it required a good blender and patience. The vegetables needed time to meld their flavors together. Some families added bread for thickness. Others kept it purely vegetable-based for a lighter feel. Garnished with fresh herbs, diced vegetables, or a drizzle of good olive oil, it felt sophisticated and worldly. Even kids who claimed to hate vegetables would slurp this colorful, flavorful soup with enthusiasm. Quiche Lorraine. This French import became the height of sophistication for 1970s dinner parties, especially when served on the patio with white wine. The combination of eggs, cream, cheese, and bacon in a flaky pastry crust created elegant comfort food that impressed guests. Making it from scratch was a labor of love that showed real culinary ambition, from rolling out the pastry to getting the custard filling just right. The dish worked equally well for brunch, lunch, or a light summer dinner when heavy meals felt too much. Kids were often suspicious of the fancy egg pie, but usually came around after trying a small bite. Served with a simple green salad and crusty French bread, quiche transformed ordinary ingredients into something special and memorable. Chicken salad. This versatile summer staple transformed leftover roasted chicken into an elegant meal that worked for everything from lunch to dinner. Mixed with crisp celery, mayonnaise, and secret seasonings, it became the foundation for countless variations and family traditions. Some families added grapes for sweetness, others preferred chopped pecans for crunch. The key was using good quality chicken and not overwhelming it with too much mayonnaise or heavy seasonings. Served on croissants, stuffed into tomatoes, or simply over lettuce, it provided protein and satisfaction without heating up the kitchen. The best chicken salad came from families who roasted their own chickens specifically for this purpose, creating layers of flavor that store-bought rotisserie couldn't match. Egg salad. This simple, economical dish turned hard-boiled eggs into a satisfying meal that kids and adults both loved. Mixed with mayonnaise, mustard, and chopped celery, it provided protein and comfort without any fuss or complicated preparation. The secret was getting the eggs cooked just right, firm whites with creamy yolks that mashed perfectly into the mixture. Some families added sweet pickle relish. Others preferred a touch of paprika for color and flavor. Served as sandwiches on soft white bread or over lettuce as a salad, it was reliable, tasty, and budget-friendly. The dish worked equally well for quick lunches, picnic dinners, or late-night snacks when something simple but satisfying was needed. BLT sandwiches. These summer classics celebrated the holy trinity of bacon, lettuce, and tomato in perfect harmony between slices of toasted bread. The key was using garden-fresh tomatoes at their peak ripeness, crispy bacon cooked just right, and lettuce so fresh it still had dewdrops. The mayonnaise wasn't just a condiment, it was the glue that held everything together and added richness to balance the acid of the tomatoes. Timing was everything. The bacon had to be warm but not scorching, the toast needed to be golden but not hard, and the tomatoes had to be sliced at the last minute to prevent sogginess. Served with potato salad and sweet tea, BLTs were the taste of summer afternoons on screened porches. Each bite delivered the perfect ratio of all three components. Deviled eggs. These party favorites turned ordinary hard-boiled eggs into elegant appetizers that disappeared faster than they could be made. The creamy, tangy filling made with mayonnaise, mustard, and secret seasonings created little bites of perfection that satisfied both kids and adults. The real art was in the presentation. Perfectly smooth filling, piped or spooned into pristine egg white halves, garnished with paprika or fresh herbs. Some families added pickle relish for extra flavor. Others kept it simple, with just the classic ingredients. Making them required patience and skill. Cooking the eggs perfectly, removing shells without nicks, and getting that filling just the right consistency. Served on pretty platters at summer gatherings, deviled eggs were always the first thing to disappear. Potato salad. This barbecue essential came in as many variations as there were families making it, from mayo-based to vinegar-dressed, chunky to smooth. The perfect potato salad started with the right potatoes, waxy ones that held their shape, cooked just until tender but not mushy. Every family guarded their secret ingredients and techniques like precious heirlooms, whether it was the addition of hard-boiled eggs, the type of mustard used, or the exact ratio of ingredients. Some preferred it warm, others insisted it needed to be thoroughly chilled, but everyone agreed it was essential for any summer gathering. The dish improved with time as flavors melded together, making it perfect for advanced preparation. Served alongside grilled meats and cold beverages, potato salad was the foundation of countless summer memories. Fried bologna and white bread sandwiches. Your mom would slice that thick bologna round and throw it in the hot skillet until the edges curled up like little cups. The sizzling sound meant dinner was almost ready. She'd slap it between two pieces of soft white bread with yellow mustard, and somehow that simple combination tasted better than any fancy restaurant meal. You'd eat it standing in the kitchen, still sweaty from playing outside all day. The bologna was salty and warm. The bread soaked up all those good juices, and for those few minutes, life was perfect. Nobody talks about fried bologna anymore, but back then, it was pure summer magic on a plate. Sloppy joes with potato chips. The kitchen would fill with the sweet smell of onions cooking in that red sauce. Mom would brown the ground beef, add that packet of sloppy joe mix, and let it all simmer together. The sauce was tangy and a little sweet, and it would drip down your chin no matter how careful you tried to be. She'd serve it on hamburger buns with a big pile of potato chips on the side. You'd eat the chips first, then tackle that messy sandwich. Your fingers would be orange from the sauce, and you'd need about 10 napkins, but it was worth every sticky, delicious bite. Hamburger helper stroganoff. The brown box with the red glove on it meant dinner would be ready in 30 minutes. Mom would brown the ground beef, add the pasta, and that packet of stroganoff seasoning. The kitchen would smell like garlic and onions, and your stomach would start rumbling. When it was done, she'd spoon it into bowls, and you'd blow on each bite to cool it down. The creamy sauce coated every piece of pasta, and the ground beef made it feel like a real meal. It wasn't homemade from scratch, but it was homemade with love, and that made all the difference in the world. Peanut butter and jelly French toast. Saturday mornings called for something special, and Mom would take regular PB and J sandwiches to the next level. She'd make the sandwiches first, then dip them in beaten eggs and fry them in butter like French toast. The outside would get golden and crispy, while the inside stayed warm and gooey. The peanut butter would get melty, and the jelly would turn into sweet syrup. You'd eat it with your hands, licking the sticky sweetness from your fingers. It was breakfast food that felt like dessert, and somehow eating a sandwich that had been fried in egg batter made you feel like you were getting away with something wonderfully delicious. Chicken and rice skillet. One pan was all Mom needed to create this complete meal. She'd brown chicken pieces in a big skillet, then add rice, water, and seasonings. Everything would simmer together until the rice soaked up all those chicken flavors and the meat fell off the bone. The kitchen would smell like herbs and comfort, and your mouth would water waiting for it to finish cooking. Each spoonful had tender chicken, perfectly cooked rice, and all those wonderful flavors mixed together. It was simple one-pot cooking that created something that tasted like it took hours to make, the kind of meal that made the whole house feel warm and welcoming. Fried Spam sandwiches. Mom would slice that Spam thick and fry it in a hot pan until both sides were golden brown and crispy. The edges would caramelize and get slightly sweet, while the middle stayed tender. She'd put it between 2 pieces of white bread with mustard and maybe a slice of cheese if you were lucky. The contrast between the salty, crispy meat and the soft bread was perfect. You'd eat it while it was still warm, the Spam still sizzling from the pan. It was simple sandwich construction that somehow created something much more satisfying than the sum of its parts. Comfort food that proved good things could come from a can. Tuna noodle casserole. Every American kitchen once knew the magic of combining canned tuna, egg noodles, and cream of mushroom soup into something greater than its humble parts. This casserole ruled supreme during the 1950s and 60s, when families needed hearty meals that could stretch ingredients and feed hungry mouths without breaking the bank. The dish emerged from the Great Depression era's philosophy of making do with what you had, but it found its golden age in post-war suburbia. Mothers would layer the mixture with crushed potato chips on top, creating a satisfying crunch that made children forget they were eating something economical. The beauty lay in its simplicity. No fancy techniques required, just honest ingredients transformed into comfort food that could feed a family of 6 for under $2. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff arrived in American kitchens through a fascinating journey from Russian aristocracy to middle-class dinner tables. The dish represented sophistication and worldliness when exotic cuisines were rare in suburban America. Families felt elegant serving tender strips of beef in a rich, sour cream sauce over egg noodles, often reserving it for special occasions or when company came to dinner. The preparation required patience, slowly browning the beef, sautéing mushrooms until golden, and carefully combining the sour cream to prevent curdling. Many home cooks added their own touches, incorporating onion soup mix for deeper flavor or using cream of mushroom soup as a shortcut. The result was a dish that transformed everyday ingredients into something that felt luxurious, making ordinary Tuesday nights feel like celebrations. Chicken a la king. Chicken a la king represented the height of 1950s, entertaining elegance, transforming leftover chicken into a creamy, sophisticated dish that impressed guests and satisfied families. The dish typically featured chunks of tender chicken, colorful bell peppers, and pimientos suspended in a rich cream sauce that was spooned over toast points, rice, or biscuits. Its origins traced back to fancy hotel restaurants, but home cooks adapted it for their own kitchens, making it accessible while maintaining its air of refinement. The key to perfect chicken a la king lay in the sauce, a careful balance of chicken stock, cream, and seasonings that coated each ingredient without overwhelming the delicate flavors. Many families served it for Sunday dinners or when entertaining, as it could be prepared ahead and kept warm, allowing hosts to spend time with their guests rather than slaving over the stove. Chicken divan. Chicken divan emerged from the elegant divan Parisian restaurant but found its true home in American casserole dishes, combining chicken and broccoli in a sophisticated cream sauce that elevated everyday ingredients. The dish represented the 1950s fascination with combining convenience foods with fresh ingredients to create something that felt both modern and traditional. Tender chicken breasts were layered over bright green broccoli spears, then covered with a rich sauce made from cream of chicken soup, mayonnaise, and curry powder. An exotic touch that made families feel cosmopolitan. A generous sprinkling of cheese and breadcrumbs created a golden top that cracked to reveal the creamy layers beneath. What made chicken divan special was its ability to transform a simple combination of ingredients into something that felt like fine dining, proving that sophistication didn't require complicated techniques. Corn chowder. Summer corn chowder captured the essence of the season in a bowl, combining fresh corn kernels with potatoes, onions, and cream to create a soup that was both rustic and refined. The best chowders began with corn on the cob, where kernels were carefully cut away, and the cobs were simmered to extract every bit of sweet corn flavor. This corn-infused stock became the foundation for a soup that tasted like summer itself. The preparation required patience, slowly cooking onions until translucent, adding potatoes to simmer until tender, and carefully incorporating cream without letting it curdle. Many families added bacon for smokiness or herbs from their gardens for freshness. The result was a soup that celebrated the season's abundance while providing comfort on cooler summer evenings when families gathered on porches and around kitchen tables. Lemon icebox pie. Before refrigeration became universal, icebox pies represented the height of summer dessert sophistication, requiring careful planning and the luxury of cold storage. Lemon icebox pie perfectly captured summer's bright flavors in a cool, creamy dessert that provided relief from sweltering heat. The filling combined tart lemon juice with sweetened condensed milk and eggs, creating a custard-like texture that set without baking. The graham cracker crust added textural contrast and complemented the lemon's brightness with subtle sweetness. What made these pies special was their make-ahead nature. They actually improved after sitting overnight, allowing flavors to meld and the texture to achieve perfect consistency. Families often served them at Sunday dinners or special occasions, proud to offer guests something that required both skill and advanced planning. The first bite delivered an explosion of lemony freshness that epitomized summer's best flavors. Macaroni and tomatoes. Long before boxed macaroni and cheese dominated children's menus, families served macaroni and tomatoes, a simple, satisfying dish that celebrated summer's tomato harvest. The dish combined cooked elbow macaroni with stewed tomatoes, often enhanced with onions, peppers, and seasonings that varied by family tradition. Some versions included a touch of sugar to balance the tomato's acidity, while others added herbs or bacon for extra flavor. The result was comfort food at its most basic. Ingredients that cost very little but provided substantial nutrition and satisfaction. Many families served this as a side dish alongside fried chicken or pork chops, while others made it the main course with the addition of ground beef or sausage. The dish represented the American ability to create something delicious from pantry staples, proving that good food didn't require expensive ingredients or complicated techniques. Zucchini slice. Summer gardens overflowing with zucchini inspired creative home cooks to develop recipes that used this prolific vegetable, leading to the creation of zucchini slice, a savory casserole that transformed excess produce into family-friendly meals. The dish combined grated zucchini with eggs, cheese, and flour to create something between a quiche and a frittata, often enhanced with herbs, onions, or bacon. The beauty of zucchini slice lay in its versatility. It could be served hot or cold, cut into squares for lunch or sliced for dinner, and customized with whatever ingredients families had on hand. The preparation helped use up garden surplus while creating a nutritious meal that even children would eat, disguising vegetables in a format that felt like comfort food. Many families served it with salad for light summer dinners or packed it for picnics, where its portable nature made it perfect for outdoor dining. Cinnamon baked apples. Cinnamon-baked apples represented the perfect ending to summer meals, combining seasonal fruit with warm spices to create a dessert that felt both homey and elegant. The preparation began with selecting the right apples, varieties that would hold their shape while becoming tender during baking. The apples were cored and filled with a mixture of butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon, then baked until the filling caramelized and the apple flesh became sweet and tender. Many families had signature additions. Some included chopped nuts or raisins in the filling. Others drizzled the apples with cream or served them with vanilla ice cream. The slow baking process filled homes with the comforting aroma of cinnamon and caramelized sugar, creating anticipation for the warm, sweet treat to come. These simple desserts represented the best of home cooking, transforming basic ingredients into something that felt like a special occasion. Tuna melts. Open-faced tuna melts represented the perfect balance between sandwich and hot meal, combining flaky tuna salad with melted cheese on toasted bread for a satisfying dinner that felt both casual and special. These weren't just quick lunches. Families served them as legitimate dinner fare, often accompanied by potato chips and pickle spears. The key to a perfect tuna melt lay in the tuna salad mixture, where families added their secret ingredients like diced celery for crunch, sweet pickle relish for tang, or a touch of curry powder for sophistication. The cheese, usually sharp cheddar or Swiss, was carefully arranged to cover every bit of tuna before being broiled until golden and bubbly. What made tuna melts memorable was their comfort food appeal combined with the satisfaction of melted cheese and warm bread, creating a meal that pleased both children and adults while requiring minimal preparation time. Johnny Marzetti. Johnny Marzetti became a Midwest favorite that combined ground beef, egg noodles, and cheese in a casserole that fed large families while using affordable ingredients to create something satisfying and delicious. Named after a Columbus, Ohio restaurant owner, the dish represented regional American cooking at its finest, taking simple ingredients and combining them into something greater than the sum of their parts. The preparation layered cooked ground beef with vegetables, egg noodles, and cheese sauce, then baked until bubbly and golden. Many families added their own variations, incorporating different vegetables, cheeses, or seasonings that reflected local preferences and available ingredients. The result was comfort food that could feed a crowd, be prepared ahead of time, and pleased both adults and children. This dish demonstrated how regional specialties could spread beyond their origins to become beloved family favorites that brought people together around dinner tables across America. Liver and onions. Liver and onions represented a time when families embraced organ meats as both economical protein sources and nutritional powerhouses, despite their challenging flavors and textures. The dish required skill to prepare properly. Liver needed careful cooking to avoid toughness, while onions required patience to achieve perfect caramelization. Many home cooks soaked liver in milk before cooking to reduce its strong flavor, then dredged it in seasoned flour before pan-frying until just cooked through. The onions were slowly cooked until golden and sweet, providing a perfect counterpoint to the liver's intense flavor. What made this dish successful was the balance between the two main components: properly cooked liver that remained tender and sweet onions that complemented rather than competed. While liver and onions never achieved universal popularity, families who enjoyed it considered it a special treat that provided important nutrition while challenging diners to appreciate more complex flavors than typical American fare.